Fuck you, snowman.
I believe.
I forgot how hard
Oh,
it is to
lava.
kill buddies. Come back. You're so fast.
Alright.
This bunny's gonna jump in the lava.
Oh,
You
yeah.
did it! Link would be proud.
Somebody clip that for Link.
Borg, flip it. I want to
Oh, that's
commission it
polar
because
bear.
Alright, so
I'm gonna make something.
Ah, wah 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 wah. Like that? Ah, wah 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 wah. Oh, you like the RR like that? Oh, thank you for the follow, Zax. Is that how you say that? Why can I not shoot my whip? Let's go over there. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do.
Wait, what was I?
Oh my god, open the chest. I probably shouldn't have stuck my chest and crafting things next to each other, because I keep accidentally clicking on the things I don't want.
Probably. Yeah, Link, you can make worms.
True, all cats are beautiful.
Very true.
80%,
Screen.
by the way. If we're keeping track, pan/poly in an absolute slut. Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was hearing so many dings. From your video and from my chat. I think Pyro wants you to clip their clip on my stream. I think that was...
Yes, good night, sweetie.
Link, you are such a good parlele potato. I'm sure I butchered the hell out of that.
Those I actively, like, I buy them because I will play them. I heard boxes, because I'm like...
You never know when you're gonna need a good box.
No, I know I'm not gonna need them, however...
But if you get rid of them, then you will need them.
Exactly, no, so, whenever I get, like, a new electronic, and since I get those relatively free...
Grrr. Meow. There was your meow.
Oh, thank you for the follow, Zax. Is that how you say that? Why can I not shoot my whip? Let's go over there. Huh? Ah, wah 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 wah. Like that? Ah, wah 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 wah. Oh, you like the RR like that?
Yes, good night, sweetie. Pyro, you are such a good girl for absolutely no reason at all.
80%,
Screen.
by the way. If we're keeping track, pan/poly and an absolute slut. Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was hearing so many dings from your video and from my chat. I think Pyro wants you to clip their clip on my stream. I think that was
Those I actively, like, I buy them because I will play them. I heard boxes, because I'm like...
you never know when you're
whatever.
gonna need a good box.
No, I know I'm not gonna need them. However,
But if you get rid of them, then you will need them.
exactly. No, so whenever I get like a new electronic, and since I get those relatively free,
What is... Oh. Fuck you, snowman.
Grrr. Meow. There was your meow.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to do.
Wait, what was I?
Oh my god, open the chest. I probably shouldn't have stuck my chest and crafting things next to each other, because I keep accidentally clicking on the things I don't want.
Probably. Yeah, Link, you can make worms.
True, all cats are beautiful.
Very true.
I believe.
I forgot how hard
Oh,
it is to
lava.
kill bunnies. Come back. You're so fast.
All right.
This bunny's gonna jump in the lava.
Oh,
You
yeah.
did it! Link would be proud.
Somebody clip that for Link.
Forg, flip it. I want to
Oh, that's
commission it
probably
'cause
All right,
I'm
so
gonna make something.
Link, you are such a good parlele potato. I'm sure I butchered the hell out of that.
Oh boy.
Yo, there's a choo-choo!
Choo choo! Choo choo! I wanna get on the choo choo.
Oh, it's so fast!
Oh, okay. This is my life now.
Yo. Oh, you just stuck there? Hey, let me
Oh,
put you out of your
God.
misery. This is bouncing your head. Oh, you disappeared.
Yeah, I respawned.
Aw.
It was just gigantic and just pure white, and my eyes. I was blind for a second.
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. I believe.
I forgot how hard
Oh,
it is to
lava.
kill bunnies. Come back. You're so fast.
All right.
This bunny's gonna jump in the lava.
Oh,
You
yeah.
did it! Link would be proud.
Somebody clip that for Link.
Borg, flip it. I want to
Oh, that's
commission it
polar
because
bear.
All right, so
I'm gonna make something.
Oh boy.
Yo, there's a choo-choo!
Choo choo! Choo choo! I wanna get on the choo choo.
Oh, it's so fast!
Oh, okay. This is my life now.
Yo. Oh, you just stuck there? Hey, let me
Oh,
put you out of your
God.
misery. This is bouncing your head. Oh, you disappeared.
Yeah, I respawned.
Oh.
Yes, good night, sweetie.
What is... Oh. Fuck you, snowman.
Ah, wah, 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 wah. Like that? Ah, wah, 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 wah. Oh, you like the R like that?
Thank you for the follow, Zax. Is that how you say that? Why can I not shoot my whip? Let's go over there.
Grrr. Meow. There was your meow.
It was just gigantic and just pure white, and my eyes. I was blind for a second.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Alright.
Pyro, you are such a good girl for absolutely no reason at all.
Those I actively like. I buy them because I will play them. I heard boxes because I'm like,
You never know when you're
Whatever.
gonna need a good box.
No. I know I'm not gonna need them. However,
But if you get rid of them, then you will need them.
exactly. No. So whenever I get like a new electronic, and since I get those relatively free.
Link, you are such a good parlele potato. I'm sure I butchered the hell out of that.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to do.
Wait, what was I?
Oh my god, open the chest. Hello. Welcome back. It's been so long. Is the music too loud? Too quiet? It's a good volume for me, but I don't know if it's a good volume compared to me talking. I bet, Mio. Yeah, I don't want it too loud because I'm going to be reading. I'm not not sure. I guess I'll go ahead and start reading. My food didn't get here before stream started. Because apparently really the only place open is Subway. And apparently the only Subway in town open, we have like 6. The only one open is like the one furthest away from us. And the Dasher just finally picked up the food and is only like halfway here, and it's still like another 15 minutes before they're gonna get here apparently. Hello, Skylar. So I guess we can maybe read a chapter before my food gets here, and then I will eat and then finish reading. It's kind of a long chapter. I'll still finish the chapter even if my food gets here before then. That's the problem. There's like no food in the house to make. Yo, they were really close. Why does it say it's gonna take them so much longer? They're like right there. Should I start reading? That's cute, Mew. What are you gonna read? Yeah, they're like right down the street. I'm not gonna start reading yet. It's not digital. No, I cannot read from a digital book. Reading from a screen hurts my eyes. No, Skylar, that's you. You're the cutie. I have been reading from a physical book. Yeah, they're like almost here. So I'm gonna get my food and eat. We could just sit here and chat, I guess, until I finish my food, and then we can read. Yes, Pyro is cutie, so is Skylar, so is Mew,
Alright.
so is Spoon.
I've been told that we have a special
Thank
new
you for the
pet.
head pats.
Chica is actually a really good pet. She is the perfect pet.
True, but Jowie is so right. Mew, you exist and you are also cute. Your existence is cute. You guys like my cozy Christmas blanket? Oh, while I wait, actually, I need to make a thumbnail for Ranch Sim. I need a picture of Ranch Sim. Also, to Google. It's understandable. I hate Christmas too. No, I'm not getting a picture of ranch dressing. They are approaching with my food. Oh, and the dryer is done. It just yelled at everybody. No, they're not coming inside the house. They're gonna leave it at the door and take their picture and leave. Am I? It looked like my model was angry for a second. Thank you for the head pats. More head pats. Where is the picture I just downloaded? Food was dropped off. How dare Twitch not like the word come? Okay, Mio, if you can still do that, I guess, if you want. Yay, food. I started stream and then saw that they were actually like really close. I was like, so I was just waiting, yeah. I was just waiting till food and then I'm gonna start reading. I'm in live 2D. I'm not in Warudo.
Sup, fuckers?
Yes, it's Mar. Oh, why did the post not? I forgot to make it so the post didn't go away.
I was about to ask which sandwich is yours, but then I remember nobody else eats flatbread.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number one.
Thank you, Mew. We need number one. Why does it say number one on it?
Because that was, I don't know, number one.
I'm surprised how warm this still is from how far
Right?
away they came from. They must have had one of those.
Oh shit, hi Spoon.
They must have had
Hi,
one of the
Mew.
DoorDash hot bags or something.
Maybe. Like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go eat too. I love you.
I'm gonna finish this picture and then eat and then actually stream what I was supposed to.
Or are you just using one of my reference pics that Luca made?
The one you sent me for the last time we collabed.
Oh,
I love you. I'm almost done with this thumbnail. I promise. Poor Meow. You will eventually. Where is what I'm looking for? You know, this music might put me to sleep. I have to do this. I know, Mio. Skylar, stop taking notes. Oh, there's butterflies in my face. What was I doing? It's fine like that. No, it won't be. How do I flip it? I need to flip. What you drinking, Spoon? Well, apparently Sky doesn't write anything, they just draw stuff. So maybe they're drawing pictures of you simping. How do I... That's what I want. That's not what I wanted. I didn't want you to flip the whole thing. I just want you to flip this one. Oh, do I have to do it under layer, maybe? Yeah, okay. Okay, I figured it out. Oh, you made me pixelated. Got juice? You gonna share juice with everyone, Spoon? Is this done? I think this is done. No, wait, I need that. Just put it right there, I guess. Right here, maybe? No, put it here. Or here. We'll put it right there. Okay, now it's done. Yeah, give us juice. I think a minute, yeah. I think that's right. Or was it 5 minutes? It should. I think it said it. Does it not say it in the description? I don't know. Let's see. Points. Pixel. It's 300 seconds. So that's 5 minutes, right? Yeah, so 300 seconds is 5 minutes. Then yes, it is 5 minutes. Okay, I'm done with this and this. Oh, I'm so pixelated. Oh, I wasn't looking. I close everything I don't need. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna eat my sandwich now. Very quickly. And then we're gonna read. There's your ASMR. I don't know if that's picking that up or not. Ooh, that smells spicy. That's gonna be fun. I got that new, what was it called? Some kind of teriyaki. It's the signature Subway sandwiches. I saw a commercial of it and I wanted it. Why are you taking notes now? Why are you guys taking notes? There's no test. I promise, there's no test. You do not need to take notes. Spoon, no! I just said there's no test. Mew, oh my fucking god, I already want you. You don't need to be on a commercial. Same, Pyro. I literally just wrote down every single thing the teacher wrote down, and apparently that's not how you're supposed to take notes. But what else was I supposed to fucking do? Well, I'm not giving you any tests, so there's no reason to be taking notes of anything I'm saying. Yeah, I only took notes if the teacher required it. And if they did, then I literally wrote down every single thing they wrote down. I don't believe you, Sky. Wait, Mew, did you redeem a hydrate earlier? Because if you did, I have not drank any yet. Oh, you haven't yet? Okay. I thought you did. I thought I saw a hydrate earlier, and then I never hydrated. I guess not. That's why I asked. Bet. Well, it's gonna have to wait until I'm done with my sandwich. Oh my god, why did they put all the sauce right on this part of the sandwich and not spread it out? No, illegal. I have to eat the entire sandwich first right now before I can eat or drink anything else. illegal. I have nowhere to put my trash in here, so I'm just kind of throwing my trash in the floor. I need a trash can. Yeah, the only time I take drinks in between bites is if it's super spicy or something gets stuck in my throat. I mean, I have a trash can at home that isn't being used since I'm not there. I just need to remember to bring it here so I can use it. Skylar, if you're trash, then I am a raccoon. Oh god, they put way too much sauce on this end of the sandwich. They did not evenly spread it. Yep. If you're trash, then I am a panda and I'm going to eat you. Oh yeah, it is working. So there's double emotes on the screen. There's some in live 2D, not live 2D, VTube Studio, bouncing off my head. And then there's the ones that bounce around the screen. Oh, okay. It's gonna shake up my food. Bones! Welcome, Bones. I'm eating right now. You decided my food needed to be shooken up inside me, I guess. Can you hear me chewing? Oh my god, I'm so far away from the microphone. And I have filters. Why can you hear me chew? Yeah, because they're from the new VTube Studio update. So I added those after the new update came out. The glitch is making the green screen of VTube Studio show up though. A bit around the edges of my model. I'm thinking it should only be 3 minutes. It is kind of difficult to look at. Once it goes away, I'll fix it so it's only 3 minutes. I don't know if doing something to it while it's active would mess something up. You cannot pet Dennis. Should I add a pet Dennis redeem? I never even thought about that. That is a very good point, Bones. I need to make it so y'all can pet Dennis. Yeah, this is a really long time for this. I wish it would hurry up and go away so I could edit it. I'll do that after stream because that's going to require time. And I've already wasted so much time. It's been already almost an hour. We haven't even started reading yet. Can I stop glitching now so I can change this? Thank you for the head pats. Do my head pats not work? Is it because I'm in this glitching thing? That's kind of upsetting. If my other redeems aren't gonna work while I'm in this. Oh, yep, there it is. It was hiding. Oh, is it gonna do the full head pat now? I just had to wait for the other one to be over? I wonder if there's a way I can make those stack. Because there's no reason they shouldn't.
Womp womp. Womp womp. Womp womp. Womp womp. Mew's best cat boy.
So true, Dennis. I was concerned it was broken for a second. There's such a long delay after it's redeemed for it to start, actually. Is that what it was? It waited and was the head pat not done yet? Oh. That's dumb. Yeah, I'll look into that, see if there's a way to change that, because there's no reason those things can't stack. They don't affect each other. Okay, I'm gonna change the glitch to be only 3 minutes, and then we're gonna start reading. Who messaged me? Okay, thank you, Miku. It was a rhetorical question. All I did was open it and then I could see. So I don't remember anything that's happening in this book. I'm sure none of you do either. But we are on chapter 29, which is in Arlo's perspective. I'll start to remember things eventually once I start reading. I know, Mew. You're on defense, Nausicaa clipped at Aurelian. He nodded and dropped back to place himself as a shield in front of Arlo. Ready? Vahan asked, a flick of his wrist, stirring angry sparks from his electric weapon like a rattled hive of wasps. Lifting her fist into the air, Nausicaa angled a deadly grin at the prince. Highest body count wins. Vahan formed a fist of his own and knocked it against hers. If by highest body count you mean highest number of people incapacitated but still very much alive, then yes. Wow, so boring. Yeah, no please, don't kill anybody, Arlo tried to warn, the comment drowned by a loud and throaty roar she shouldn't have been surprised to identify as Nausicaa's, but was regardless. Mildly horrified but mostly amazed, she watched both Prince and Fury spring into action. It was understandable that Aurelian and Vahan had found it difficult to determine what had chased them away from the panels the first time they'd attempted this infiltration. In the dark, their attackers were little better than faceless shadows, vaguely resembling men, if much taller and broader and a bit misshapen. Few folks shared a natural likeness to humans, but all could bend their glamours to appear as one. They could be up against anything, and without much light for them to see by, it was hard to assess the situation. It's a little dark, Arlo heard Vahan shout above the clang of metal, striking metal, and the enraged buzzing of an electric blade landing numerous blows against steel. Oh well, time out, guys. The prince has to find his flashlight. You know, I'm not the one who turned the friggin' lights off to begin with. I'm just saying this could be easier, and then I have no idea if I'm attacking friend or foe here. Here's a hint. If you stab me, I'll fucking kill you. Surprisingly enough, that isn't helpful. Oh my gods, Arlo rubbed the space between her brows and sighed. Then dropping her hand, she reached into her back pocket and traded her die for her cell phone. One thing to be said about modern technology was that the flashlights on phones were actually fairly bright. Never before had she been so thankful for this as she was now. Tapping the app, she illuminated their battleground. Yes, oh my gods. It wasn't much, but when Aurelian added light from his own phone, it made for a brilliant combination. Vahan's wish was granted, and Arlo immediately regretted her hand in this. The prince faltered, caught off guard by the sudden revelation of what they were fighting. His legs were swept out from underneath him, landing him roughly on the flat of his back. Vahan, Aurelian cried, starting forward, equally concerned over the prince's predicament. Arlo followed. Thankfully, Nausicaa was less affected by their opponents' identities. Walking monstrosities of metal and flesh, the armor the creatures wore appeared to be melted right into their skin. Disgusting. Skin that had clearly been harvested from multiple sources and sewn together, forging a grotesque parody of a human being. I know, Pyro. I hope you have fun in your board game. Their dull, bulbous eyes and slack and sunken faces showed no sign of thought or life within. They were shells, possessed no magical aura, and judging by the automatism of their movements, it was possible they were wholly unaware of who they were, where they were, and what they were doing. The sight of them alone was enough to excite a crawling under Arlo's skin, while Nausicaa's revulsion expressed itself in a singular, eloquent urg. She'd seen much worse, apparently, and Vahan's urgent need for assistance took precedence over her affection for theatrical displays. From what Arlo could tell, there was only about 10 of the swarming creatures. The lack of blood from the ones their side had managed to incapacitate meant Nausicaa had refrained from dealing the death she threatened, but their opponents held no such qualms about taking lives. The way they lunged and slashed with their own daggers, glinting in the flashlight's glow, was too violent for any other intent. It was possible that Nausicaa had been toying with them at first, but somewhere between realization of what they were fighting and noticing Vahan on the ground, a switch in her had flipped. This time there was no roar to herald her assault. Most of the creatures had shifted their focus to the sudden vulnerability. The winded prince scrambling to reclaim both footing and sword, but the one Nausicaa had been locked with in battle remained behind. Lifting a leg, Nausicaa aimed a powerful blow to its chest. In one smooth, simultaneous motion, she took hold of the cover still wrapped around her katana's blade, and in less than a second, a lethal shink unsheathed her weapon. Following her blade, a perfect arch of ruby red curled through the air like a ribbon. The creature dropped to the ground. Arlo gasped, frozen in place, but Nausicaa spared none of her focus for the dead thing she'd left behind. Following her blade's momentum, she swung on her heels so quickly and so artfully that Arlo wondered if she'd been born with that sword in her hands, and had dedicated the entirety of her very long life to learning to use it. A short spin brought her close enough to the creature nearest Vahan, preparing a strike of its own to land a powerful blow. Controlled by her immortal strength, the blade cut vertically through armor, flesh, and bone alike, straight through the creature's heart and spine and out the opposite side. It slid apart in halves, falling like a marionette cut of its strings. Trying to steal all the attention for yourself, huh? Nausicaa shook her head. When she tossed aside the sheaths she held, it burst into smoke the moment it hit the ground, and freed a hand for Nausicaa to haul Vahan back to his feet. Aurelian rushed forward. Vahan, I gave you one job, Legless, Nausicaa snapped, sparing a glove for Aurelian's approach. Arlo hot on his trail. Arlo, whom he was supposed to be keeping out of harm's way until Vahan's immediate danger made them both forget themselves. Get back there and take her with you. Guys, watch out, Arlo interrupted, skidding to a halt behind Aurelian and waving her dagger at the 5 other creatures still very much alive and pressing in around them. One made a stab at Nausicaa, but the strike was caught before it could land. This time by Vahan. A flare of angry buzzing filled the air as his electric sword rose to bear the brunt of the weight the creature threw behind his blade. Whirling back around, Nausicaa rejoined him in battle. She and the prince made short work of the remaining creatures. Vahan was very obviously comfortable with his blade, but next to Nausicaa, whose every step and flick of wrist turned concise movements into the most beautiful dance Arlo had ever witnessed, he looked no more skilled with his weapon than he would have when first learning to use it. Content that Vahan was no longer in danger and able to handle his own once more, Aurelian ushered Arlo away from the fight. What are they? She asked. Her attention swiveled between the graceful sway of Nausicaa's body and the corpses left in her wake. Why aren't any of them attacking you and me? That doesn't work here, Bones. I don't have stream avatars. Aurelian shook his head. I don't know, but whatever they are, they don't seem to have much awareness. They don't seem to feel much pain either. Together they watched the creature fall to the ground, no sound or twitch to betray what it felt. One moment alive and abruptly the next, a motionless heap on the earth. They bleed red, Arlo observed. When the last of them fell, the silence that usurped the clang of metal was louder than any other noise this evening had known. It rang for the several minutes it took the group to knit back together. Arlo and Aurelian shuffling forward while Vahan and Nausicaa fell back. Kava, said Nausicaa, after a moment longer of no one else knowing what to say. Remember back in the High Wraith, Your Highness? She looked pointedly at Vahan. Those are Kava. Artificial humans with no souls, killed and given life again by one hell of a dark array. That's why I didn't really care about killing them. They're just hollow shells. There's nothing about them that's anything anymore. Necromancy, Vahan spat. Aurelian had doused his phone's flashlight, but Arlo kept hers lit. angled at the ground to keep from blinding them. Though the resulting shadows warped their features, she was able still to see the absolute disgust on the prince's face. Nausicaa shook her head. Well, yes, but there's still alchemy, believe it or not. Alchemy at its worst. Or best, I guess, depending on which side of the argument you fall. Alchemy at its most powerful, for sure. This is bigger than you're allowing us to understand, Aurelian said. Arlo looked at Nausicaa. When she trained her steely gaze on Arlo in return, Arlo repeated the question she'd asked back at Assistant's headquarters. What else does a Philosopher's Stone do besides turn things to gold and grant eternal life? How rude of you, Mew. Stones, Nausicaa corrected. What? Stones, plural. There's more than one. In fact, according to my hard-won source of information, there are 7, and each has its own little party favorite for the fool smart enough to make one. It's okay, Mew, I'm just kidding. It's a funny joke. I'm glad you've at least seen Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah, don't. No. I think I know what you're talking about. Don't you dare. That's actually rude. That's not allowed at all. Isn't there one more? Doesn't it say it 3 times? I was waiting for Pyro because they're doing the Full Metal Alchemist thing, but in text 4. Did they not say it 3 times? I thought it was 3 times. Yeah, I'm fine. I was waiting for Pyro to finish the bit that I thought was longer, but I guess it's finished. I don't know. For some reason I thought it was 3. I've lost where I was. Who is that? Oh, it's just DoorDash asking me how I liked my food. Confusion weighing darkly on his brow, Vahan frowned at Nausicaa. In your own time, of course, but it certainly would be lovely. Oh, hydrate. I thought I just saw Redeem pop up and then immediately disappear before I could see what it was. It's okay, Mew. Confusion weighing darkly on his brow, Vahan frowned at Nausicaa. In your own time, of course, but it certainly would be lovely if you would condescend to share some of what you suspect we're up against. That's a weird sentence. I didn't like that sentence. Before we hurtle off after our deaths, preferably. I love how it thinks my eyes are always closed. Why did you send a TikTok link? Oh, is that a TikTok with using the sound, the Full Metal Alchemist sound? I mean, I'm always EP, but Nausicaa's glare began to sharpen into the lethal. What is that? Okay, it also pops up and tells me about ads there, apparently. Why do you have to tell me about the ad in so many different places? I get it, there's an ad coming. Quote 32. No, it moved my windows. Why did it move my windows? Twitch, what are you doing? Yeah, there's an ad like 30 seconds down. It told me in like 3 different places. One of them I've never seen it tell me before. Nausicaa's glare began to sharpen into the lethal edge of the blade still in her hand. In the interest of keeping things civil between them, Nausicaa's temper had been a live wire all night. Arlo decided to intervene before another argument did first. So what do they do then? I don't know, Mew. I don't know what to tell you. Twitch is dumb. Guys, I never even pulled my book out. What am I doing? I've been reading nothing this whole time. Well, said Nausicaa, happily turning her attention back to Arlo. One turns shit to gold, and another does grant immortality. But there's also one that allows you to complete control over any heart you wish to possess, and one that will grant you tireless endurance. Another will grant you beauty, and another freedom from the need for mortal sustenance. And then last but certainly not least, command over the infernal forces such as furies and demons, and all the big bad scalies locked away in the lower deep. Because the stones, they're not just lumps of magical rock. And there's no way how can I read a book I've never read from memory? Yes, we know that already, Vahan reminded her. They're hearts. No, they're not. Well, yeah, they're that, but that's just because, much like the Ironborn required to grow them, the stones are also vessels. Those hearts are the only way these spirits can physically enter the world. Spirits? Aurelian echoed, raising a brow. The sins. I totally knew it. It's the 7 deadly sins. Silence stretched among them again. Nausicaa's response a little too casual for what she just said. When you say sins, Arlo ventured, do you mean greed, pride, lust, sloth, envy, gluttony, wrath? Yeah, the sins. They aren't just behaviors in people, they're actual entities. Negative energies as old as the freaking Titans. They used to have bodies, so the legend goes, but stones are the only way they possess a corporeal form now. 1 stone for each, and each has its own special power specifically designed to entice stupid mortals into summoning them into the world. Because they can influence it still just fine, but apparently they blew their chance of causing direct chaos way before I was born. The last time I was privy to such knowledge, the sins were all squared away in the depths of the immortal realm. The challenge I had to win just to learn a bit more. She trailed off, a look overcoming her that was strangely human to Arlo, almost genuinely worried. Vahan's brow joined Aurelian's in incredulity? Nausicaa had yet to actually tell them who she was, but they contained the questions leaping in their eyes to allow her speech to continue. There's a big long legend tied to why the sins are imprisoned, and now isn't the time for that story, Nausicaa explained, shaking herself out of whatever thought had momentarily consumed her. But it's bad news bears if some asshole manages to bring them all back up here, is all I can say. Holding up a hand, Vahan, it appeared, could restrain himself no longer. So what is a kava exactly, and what do they have to do with any of this? Well, kava is the plural of the term. The word you're looking for, the singular, is kavam? And like I said, they're artificial beings, dolls made out of bits of real people, and I think we just found out what the murder factory's doing with all those humans they've been collecting. It also takes a fuck ton of magic to bring a doll to life. That someone's gone ahead and made a small army of them means the likelihood we're up against someone who's already succeeded in making a stone is a whole 100%. She shook her head, dropping her gaze to the dead kava strewn around. I'd snap your picture here and go back to the car. The courts can't ignore this. It baffles me that my sisters have. Aw, didn't know. I knew. I think I don't remember the other bot. I didn't know Siri bot responds to you though. That's adorable. Aw, it's okay. Siri bot loves you, Mew. You called it a good bot. No. Hello.
Yeah? We are running though. We know the wood's somewhere over here. We know it's here. I can't go lower. Just move my head. It's not that easy. Where's the wood?
Where is the wood?
Oh, I found it. Like, I found it. It's right here. Right next to the branch.
Hello. Merry Christmas, everyone.
A little to the left. Yeah, is it not a cute guy? Let's see if we
Yeah, I don't know what's happening in the clip, but I heard something about wood.
Where is it? No.
I can't find the wood.
What is this? I can't see. Can we put that on the floor? I can't. I don't know where the buttons are. Give me my buttons.
Hello, no. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, everybody. We are reading a book that has graphic content. So if you're not okay with that, feel free to leave. It has violent depictions.
It wasn't me, Chief. I'm pretty sure it was.
There we go. That's the content warning for the book we're reading.
Woof woof. Yup. Doggo. Cute.
Oh, okay, Mew.
Look at cute doggo.
Good job.
Oh no.
Yeah, you could have just exclamation point content.
I feel like that was. Yeah.
Is that a dog
I feel,
with bread on its face?
yeah, I feel like that was pretty bad foreshadowing there with the.
Yes. All the chaos.
Explode.
Well, if you do exclamation point commands, that'll show you a list of commands. Oh, that's also true. You can't see announcements on mobile.
No. This is why I'm a cat person. Mamma mia.
You want a handwritten list? Okay, Mew. At some point, I will handwrite you a list of the commands. Okay, now I gotta remember where I was at. Okay, I'm gonna start reading again, so if you're not okay with any of the content mentioned in the content warning, then mute or leave to go get snacks, food, drink, whatever you need. You can end your investigation here, but I'm not done with this place now that it's gone and made itself so interesting. Those kava came from somewhere, and that array on your chest, Vahan, someone tried to make the god's damned prince of Seelie Summer into a philosopher's stone. Probably didn't know at the time that this would only work on Ironborn, sure, but that was ballsy as fuck. And I have to say that I'm kind of impressed they gave it a whirl at all. Arlo watched as Vahan squared his jaw. I'm staying, he declared firmly. We came all this way, and what you said is true. This is so much worse than Aurelian and I previously thought. If there's someone inside who can explain what's happening here, how I came to have this array, I can't risk letting them get away in the time it would take for the courts to act on the proof of a picture. I'm staying. Our deal still stands, though, Arlo. All you need to do for us is deactivate the seal on the door, and you can go home. You don't have to come with us. Oh no, I'm coming, Arlo replied, with more resolution than she felt. The escalation of this plot terrified her, but almost to a degree that she couldn't fully comprehend why it should scare her off. She'd already decided she'd do this, and her die hadn't failed her yet. She could help them do more than just get in, and by the sound of things, they would need as much of that help as they could get. Oh, thank you, Hyper, for donating to the Trevor Project. Where is... I don't think we've reached a goal yet, have we? No, we're only at $40, okay. I can't math. Minna! Hello, Minna. It is Chica. I've lost my place again. Thank you, Hyper. Happy holidays. Merkrima. That's a new way to say Merry Christmas. I haven't heard that one. She could help them do more than just get in, and by the sound of things, they would need as much of that help as they could get. We're all we've got. Besides, Nausicaa could simply spirit them away, if things became too intense. If I can break open that door, I'm coming with you. I want to know what's going on too. Oh, thank you for the head pats, Minna. To Nausicaa, Aurelian added quite sternly, "You're not lending this aid in an attempt to steal one of those stones for yourself, are you?" Arlo's heart gave an odd sort of lurch. Command of some immortal army, tireless endurance, control over people, with things like that at her disposal, the chaos Nausicaa seemed to be after would be all too easily accomplished. And if she could coax an alchemist into working with her to make other stones, an alchemist just like Arlo, whom Nausicaa had been unusually invested in, where very few others had ever cared before. Titch. Nausicaa flicked her wrist, and her katana evaporated in pitch-black smoke. I have serious issues, and boy, do I like setting shit on fire, but I'm not a psychopath. Also, I'm far too creative to copy someone else's evil scheme. Also, I'm competitive as fuck. Like hell, I'm going to let someone else's temper tantrum upstage mine, so before you ask, yes, I am actually going to try to put a stop to this bullshit. If you are too, then I guess that makes us allies. She held a hand out to Vahan, and Arlo breathed a quiet sigh of relief. Hesitating only briefly, Vahan thrust his hand into hers, and their pact was sealed. You have my unwavering support, Nausicaa. Kraken. He wavered. Are you serious? What were all the other surnames taken? Her name is Nausicaa Kraken? I can snap your neck in like less than a second. I think you should let me call myself whatever I want. Fair enough. They shook and Vahan dropped his hand. Nausicaa turned to Aurelian. If this is going to work, I need you to know one thing. Aurelian said nothing, but his golden eyes watched her intently. There's a noticeable bit of friction between us. Aurelian continued to stare. I will have your back regardless. Still Aurelian looked on, saying nothing. I will have your prince's back regardless. Finally a reaction. A muscle leaped in his tightening jaw. But if you ever leave Arlo unguarded like that again, in the moments I'm trusting you to have her back, the 7 sins and the ruin they serve will be the least of your concerns. Got it? He nodded, a flicker of contrition in his face before his composure resettled on cool indifference. Wonderful. Alright, we should get moving before whoever's down there sends another wave along. Nausicaa was right. They didn't have time for this Q&A. The door the kava had poured from had closed back up behind them, thanks to the seal on its surface, and now it was only Arlo who could unlock it for them. She made to follow her friends, who'd already started for the door, but a hand at her elbow made her pause. I'm sorry, said Aurelian softly, when she turned to gauge what he wanted. About before. About leaving you unguarded. Arlo shook her head. He's your friend, right? In the gloom, still illuminated by Arlo's phone, she saw that the question made Aurelian uncomfortable. He's my prince, and as his retainer. It's my duty to protect him. The statement sounded too rehearsed for it to be the whole truth, but Arlo wouldn't press the matter. Then don't be sorry. The questioning tilt of his head told Arlo he didn't understand. Don't be sorry for wanting to protect the people important to you, she explained. Isn't that what all this is about anyhow? Protecting people? Besides, don't listen to Nausicaa. We've known each other for like 2 weeks. Enough time for me to know she blows pretty hot in certain moods. Not enough time to warrant raging revenge if I bite it in this mission. It was Aurelian's turn to shake his head. Nausicaa doesn't strike me as a person with many friends. She'd be upset to lose you, trust me. I guess, she replied, not all that convinced. But still, don't worry, I'm not upset. We're good. Good, Aurelian nodded, then strode past her. Arlo followed after him, careful to keep her eyes from examining too closely the faces of the Kava as she picked her way through their heap. Coming up between Aurelian and Nausicaa, she peered down at the door they stood huddled around. True to Vahan's word, an array had been stamped into the surface of the metal, a simple circle, but drawn within was a diamond shape with the same strange symbol hovering above each of its points like a compass. All four connected by intricate strings of complicated equations. So, what do I do here? Arlo asked, angling her phone for a better look. I don't actually know how to do alchemy. It's forbidden, remember? We're not even really supposed to talk about it, and this is only the second array I've ever seen in my life, after the one on Vahan's chest. Take a look at these symbols, said Nausicaa, reaching to tap the one above the northern point. Do you know what that is? Everyone peered down at the array. Vahan and Aurelian gave a silent shake of their heads, but Arlo, iron, she said after a moment in a barely there voice to match the barely there memory that suddenly flashed through her mind. An impossible memory, thinned by time, mired in fog too thick to see through, but she could still hear. Her father's voice. And this is iron. Do you see the strength in its strokes? And you thought you'd be useless, Nausicaa beamed. Arlo startled. The memory dissipated like steam. That is the magical symbol for iron. All physical substances are made of matter, and all matter is made of particles. Those particles all have their symbols, yes? Well, magic has given them symbols too. When you piece them all together, balance the science with that magic, and imbue these equations with enough power, you can actually hijack that physical substance. You can bend it to whatever you can invent for it to do, within reason. I'm not an alchemist either, so I can't really get too much into it, but that's the basics. It gets complicated, and scary in the wrong hands. But if you were allowed to study this in schools still, Arlo, they'd start you off real easy. They'd start you off with shit like iron. Okay, but what am I supposed to do with this information? Pulling her hands away from the array, Nausicaa raised them into the air. Nope, sorry, that's all I've got. She turned to Arlo. Listen, activating another alchemist's array is a pretty fucking advanced skill, but I'm willing to bet it'll be a cinch for you to similarly deactivate this thing. You've got it in you. I wasn't lying. If you say so, but how to do that? Nausicaa shrugged. Sighing deeply, Arlo examined the array a little closer. I mean, have we tried physically damaging it? Like breaking it up or something to disrupt the flow of magic? She had no idea what she was talking about, but it sounded like their easiest solution. Whatever random clip of conversation she'd overheard to help her recognize that iron symbol. Where had it even come from, she wondered. And why did it wear her very human father's voice? Was conveniently silent now. Summoning her katana once more, Nausicaa dispelled this theory by dragging the tip of her blade against the iron. The array sliced apart, but in moments the magic that formed it sealed it back together, good as new. Arlo eased herself to her knees. Placing her dagger on the ground beside her, she reached out to trace one of the iron symbols. It warmed under her touch. She had no idea how to bend this particular skill to deactivate arrays any more than she knew how to activate them. All she knew was that Nausicaa's magic seemed to give her own a boost. If we could somehow unbalance these equations, shouldn't that mean it would stop working? She mused aloud. Nausicaa crouched down beside her. What are you thinking? Give me a second. Keeping her hand on the array, Arlo closed her eyes. The symbols seemed to burn in her mind, standing out against the darkness. She could see them clearly, but something was missing. The warmth she could feel under her fingers was absent from the replica she pictured. Nausicaa, she called, her eyes still closed. Can you maybe do that thing you did before, with your magic, to jumpstart mine? Wordlessly, Nausicaa complied. A bit of iron and wood smoke magic unspooled from its hiding place and leaped all too enthusiastically for Arlo. It must have learned in the short span of their acquaintance how to interact with her a little more gently, because unlike all the other times before, it didn't so much stab her as it did thread itself piercingly together with her own aura. The surge of additional power was exactly what she needed to make the array in her mind burst into glowing warmth. A tinge of bluish-white light pressed against the black of her closed eyes. I'm going to try dissolving one of the symbols, she told them. She couldn't explain why, but her gut instinct told her this was the right thing to do, and for some reason this warmth under her hand felt familiar. Focusing hard as she could, she channeled all her magic into erasing the symbol at the northern point of her imagined array. Under her hand, the one on the door grew hot. Snazzy, Nausicaa complimented, blowing out her cheeks. See, you're a freaking natural at this. Withdrawing her hand, Arlo opened her eyes. She retrieved her dagger, rose to her feet, and watched in awe with everyone else as the heat drove the symbol at the northern point of the real array to crack apart, and this time remain broken. We should really find you an actual mentor. Forbidden magic be damned. Nausicaa raised a foot and slammed it down on the door so hard that it dented inward. She repeated the action, and the iron door snapped away from its hinges to clatter down into the newly opened metal stairwell, waiting for them in the depths below. Well, there it is, our dark descent. Ready to wreak some havoc? Investigate, Vahan corrected firmly, taking out his phone to snap a picture of the kava behind them, and the hole in the ground through which they were about to enter. This is an investigation, first and foremost. I'd like to avoid as much conflict as possible here. Impressive as you are, engaging in any further battles with our current numbers isn't wise. We just want to find out what's going on before our elusive alchemist gets the chance to cover their tracks again. Sure, but what I said sounded cooler, so we're going with that, okay? Frowning, Vahan once again sparked with irritation. You don't take anything seriously, do you? For a moment there was no response. Then Arlo watched his hard consideration turn to tired gravity. Never before had she seen Nausicaa look so old. 116 years ago, 11 people learned the answer to that question. Vahan Lestern. What you all know as the Bermuda Triangle became a sleeping hollow. I already have a therapist, thank you very much. I even turn up for my appointments once in a while. But if you'd rather go back to my place and chat some more about this around some ice cream, please just say so now. Otherwise, let's just be thankful this century is turning out to be a high point in my depression and get on with this mission, alright? At an apparent loss for what to say, Vahan held Nausicaa's gaze a little longer. He settled on a curt nod. Just try not to get us killed. Try not to make it so appealing, she quipped. Her humor instantly recovered. Dropping a wink at the prince, she concluded the matter by jumping down into the stairwell. Oh, my nose is so runny. My mouth is getting so dry. Thank you, me. Yes, my mouth is getting dry because you haven't been redeeming hydrate. I did drink on my own. It's just getting really dry still. Thank you, Miu. Alright, how long is this next chapter? I don't like how this music has like opening door sounds in it sometimes. Alright, we're on chapter 30, and this one's in Nausicaa's point of view. The stairs led into a dim hallway, nothing more exciting than a monochromatic stretch of tile, aluminum plating, and eerily glowing emergency lights that trailed down the center of the ceiling. Nausicaa had been in enough laboratories over the years for various reasons to recognize this cold and clinical atmosphere for what it was in a simple glance around. Walk. Hello, Skylar. Kinda quiet, she mused. Her voice echoed loudly in the bare, enclosed space. You know, you didn't have to knock out all the lighting with your little priority trick, Charmless. Vahan scowled at her. I told you that wasn't my intention, and for all we know, it could always be this dark down here. Yeah, because turn off all the lights is the first thing they teach you about workplace safety. Rich people. She rolled her eyes. You going to turn them back on for us anytime soon? Vahan muttered under his breath, but nonetheless complied within her suggestion. He flexed his hand, opened and closed and opened again. Nothing happened. His expression, ghostly in this muted lighting, grew more annoyed by the second. Well, I would, but something's not right down here. I can't bend electricity the way I usually do. It's like there's an interference. I'm concerned about the lack of activity, said Aurelian. I don't hear any nearby movement. At his side, Arlo lifted her phone above her head. She was close enough for Nausicaa to glimpse the string of messages from her no doubt irate cousin, culminating in, I'm giving you one more hour, and if I don't hear from you, I'm telling father where you are. She swiped away his panic with a huff, then she next lowered her phone and said, guys, does anyone else have service? Because I have nothing. Nausicaa pulled out her phone now too. Bright teal and obnoxiously large. It was the latest in a very long line of broken, fried, and drowned iPhones. Given her track record, the odds of this one surviving much longer were slim. Everyone else followed suit to lift their phones as well, at varying angles, as though this would help them catch a better signal. Wonderful, she sighed. Turning her phone on Arlo, she snapped a picture. Hey! A little dark, Nausicaa concluded, but the camera still works fine at least. Boo, I was hoping to see what Pokemon I could catch down here on Go. Okay. She looked up into Arlo's frown and smiled widely. Well, what do we say? Do you three still want to chase after answers with me even if we can't call out? Can you still teleport us to safety if it becomes necessary, Vahan hedged. Yeah, don't worry. We're not all useless here. Nausicaa waved off his concern. It would take a hell of a lot more interference than whatever blocked their cellular reception to put her teleportation out of commission. If there's any Greninja down there, but I don't think there's any Pokemon down there. Alright, so we poke around until we find someone to harass for answers. But we stay as a group, Vahan added. Nobody wanders off on their own. I don't trust any of what's going on right now. It was highly unlikely Aurelian would stray too far from Vahan's side. Given his pattern of behavior. Arlo seemed to know full well she had about one trick and jack all else to use to protect herself should she encounter any difficulty on her own. So far, Vahan showed an annoying commitment to keeping the group together. It was her Nausicaa suspected that the warning was meant for. Of the 4 of them, she was the most likely to abandon at least 2 in their team should they start to slow her down. Yes, sir, she shot him an exaggerated salute. So are we going now or what? Arlo raised her dagger into the air. Yes, Arlo, Nausicaa graciously permitted. So if in our poking around we happen across a bathroom. Vahan turned to stare at her, mildly incredulous. Nausicaa, meanwhile, could barely contain her laughter. Okay, folks, if we come across anyone, make sure to also ask for directions to the nearest bathroom, on top of whether they've been murdering children to make philosopher's stones and kidnapping people and why. You were at a rest station for nearly an hour before we came to get you, Vahan pointed out, bewildered. It was hot, and I had a lot of slushies. The prince rounded on Nausicaa. Why did you allow her to consume so much liquid? I'm not the boss of her, she sneered. She can make whatever poor decision she likes. This isn't a field trip to a chocolate factory. Indeed it isn't, Veruca Salt, but it's a big place in the middle of nowhere. There's going to be a bathroom, and we can investigate along the way. Come on, Arlo. If video games have taught me anything, it's that there's a treasure chest around here with a map inside. We'll find what you seek, beautiful maiden. Latching onto Arlo's arm, she pulled her out from the center of the group and started off down the hall. It was surprisingly easy to find the laboratory's facilities. Unfortunately, this was just about their only access. Everything was on lockdown, thanks to the magic Vahan and Arlo worked on the place, which meant every door they'd come across had to be forced open. Nausicaa stopped the party multiple times to allow herself to take a peek inside random rooms, and found that the ones that weren't devoted to storage for supplies, for everything from guns to blades to medical equipment and tools, were break rooms outfitted with plush sofas and well-stocked but out-of-order vending machines. This is weird, she announced, rocking one such machine in the 3rd break room, and they'd found to force it to dispense its candy. I feel like we're infiltrating someone's very fancy clubhouse. M&M? She offered her hard-won bag to Arlo first, then the others after she declined. Are you seriously going to eat that? Vahan inquired, eyeing the yellow bag with suspicion when it was thrust in his direction. After listening to you nag me to stop making so much noise for so long, yes. Vahan rolled his eyes. Has no one taught you to be wary of taking candy from strangers? Strangers? Nausicaa wrinkled her nose in mock offense. We're not strangers. Vending machines and I go way back. Their corridors are endless, Aurelian interrupted, taking a seat beside Arlo on the sofa. We've been walking for almost an hour and haven't found anything besides lounges and storerooms. There's no hint of an elevator or a second stairwell. Maybe it's time to consider we were wrong and that there really isn't anything here besides what we've already discovered outside. Popping a handful of M&Ms into her mouth, Nausicaa chewed and considered the suggestion. We haven't checked all the rooms yet, she reminded him. There had to be something here they were missing. No one put all of this in the middle of the desert just because they were bored. Is there a way we can use this, maybe? The room focused in on Arlo and the object in her hand. That depends. What is it? Vahan asked, stepping closer for a better view. What does it do? Arlo shook her head. I don't really know. It works a bit like Dungeons and Dragons, though. At least from what Elias has told me. Judging by the blank expression on Vahan's face, Nausicaa figured he had no idea what that was. She laughed, though, to hear this rare gift likened to a tool from a tabletop roleplay game. No doubt the one who'd given it to her would find this amusing as well. Basically, it's a magical die, Arlo continued. I tell it what I want to do, and if I roll high enough number, we succeed in doing it. I got it from someone in the fairy ring. They looked like a troll, but I don't think that's what they really were. If that's the genuine article, they definitely weren't a troll. Nausicaa confirmed, popping another candy. If what Arlo said was true, that troll was exactly who she thought they were back outside, where she first learned Arlo possessed this power. I mean, I didn't see them myself, but if they gave you that die, then they were most likely luck, chance, fortune, whatever you will. They go by many names and many faces. The important thing is that you met a freaking titan, Arlo. They gave you that die, and if you really have no idea what it does, then it sounds like you're still in the new car trial period. She grinned around her candy. A bonus for us. No one tries to hook someone on a gimmick's flaws. Luck's going to play this nice and sweet for you. Pull out all the stops to give you what you want, so that you'll choose to keep this power once they come to demand your answer. What you choose to do is up to you, but meanwhile... She approached, Arlo leaning in and curling her fingers back around the die to close her hand. You save that for when we're in a pinch. Trial periods have limited usage, and I wouldn't want yours to be used up on trivial things. Okay, but this means what exactly? A god gave Arlo something that makes her abnormally lucky? Vahan asked. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous. There's a strict pact between us and the gods, keeping them out of our business. Why would one turn up in the fairy ring? Titan, Asakea corrected. Luck isn't a deity. They're a bit higher up than that. And while we're on the subject, also gender fluid. Yo, luck is gender fluid. Their pronouns are they and them. And like many of the immortals, who are genderqueer and non-binary, don't use God. It's too male a term. On a whole, we all just use deity instead. Yo, gender neutral deities. Why are you spraying me? What did I do? It's very rude. I'm gonna spray you back. If I can find it. Where is it? There it is. Did it work? Yes, Skarn. Did it not work? Oh my god, I didn't put the thing on here. Why didn't I do that? I thought I didn't miss anything, but apparently I missed things. I love you too, Skarn. I will spray chat as soon as I'm able to. I have to wait 12 more seconds, because I believe I fixed it now. Mew, leave chat for a few seconds. I'm not spraying you. That's not how you hydrate me, Skylar. The water needs to go in my mouth, not on my face. There we go. Now I sprayed you, Skylar. I can't believe I forgot to put that on there. I wonder what other scenes I forgot to put that on.
Ara. I've been
Does
told
TikTok
you have
access
a
the home Wi-Fi
special
network?
new pet.
Okay, but
Chica
those
is
will stack.
actually a really good pet. She is the perfect pet.
Blurp, you're not supposed to play sounds on top of each other. Why does Blurp play sounds on top of each other, but VTube Studio can't put redeems on top of each other? Yeah, they're not supposed to do that, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember them ever doing that before. I'll have to go in Blurp and figure that out. No, I've definitely lost my place. Oh, that's right. Luck is gender fluid. But anyhow, to answer your question, yes, a deity gave this die to you, Arlo, and no, it doesn't exactly make her extra lucky. She sighed. Over a century here, and still it surprised her to realize how much the mortals didn't know about the people they'd once worshipped. Ow. Luck is the gender fluid. Listen, it's not really my place to explain the deities and their tricks, and I don't know all the details here. Besides, I've only ever met one hollow star before, and they... What's a hollow star exactly? Arlo blurted. Yes, you can drink luck. Nausicaa didn't blame this particular bit of ignorance. Even among the immortals, hollow stars were a mystery. Most only knew of them from sparse whispers, as luck was strangely protective of their carefully chosen pawns and knew how dangerous immortal interest in them could be. And Arlo already had plenty of immortal interest to begin with. Uh-huh. That's totally a cis thing to say, Mew. Wanting to drink the gender fluid. An otherworld term, I suppose, she explained. It's what Cosmin calls the children his partner adopts, and the term caught on. I guess it isn't well known down here either, but basically a hollow star is what you would be, Arlo, if you choose to continue to use that die when luck pays you a second visit. A hollow star is someone who takes their destiny away from fate, away from the stars that serve her, and into their own hands. Amazingly easy, that trade. All it takes is the mortal's consent and boom. Fate hands you over. Luck becomes your patron immortal, and honestly of the lot, they've always been one of my favorites. Not that we're on very good terms, me and the mini deities. You want to feel more gender? I would like no gender, thank you. I don't want to feel any more gender. Happy Chrysler, Bones. How do you know all this? Vahan cried, suddenly quite exasperated. This stuff about deities and philosopher's stones and titans, how do you know any of it? Who are you? You want to feel straight gender? What is straight gender? Straight isn't a gender. Skarn, straight isn't a gender. Straight is a sexual preference. For a moment, Nausicaa seriously considered not answering. Vahan wasn't awful. All of the Fae she'd encountered in her time, he was certainly one of the kinder, and she could tell his heart was in the right place and all, but... Well, if there was one face she'd never forget, it was that of the man who drove Tisiphone to her death. Of Halfrine? With his bright, clever eyes and ample charms and raven black hair, so very much like the young princes here. Aurelian was growly with her? She was growly right back at him, but Vahan, just looking at him, set her on edge. Her dislike was a little more personal, however unfair that might be. I used to be a fury, she divulged at last in the spirit of sportsmanship, not because she actually wanted to. Once upon a time, then I went ahead and broke a few fundamental laws, killed some people I wasn't supposed to touch, and was cast out of the infernal court. Stripped of my name and the best of my powers. Tethered to the mortal realm for fuck-off eternity. Now I'm no one, blotted off the family tree. A dark star. You want to be growly with me? Why do you want to growl at me? That's not something I can teach you, Skarn. It's something you have to figure out yourself. But you can be whatever gender you want to be. But you don't have to put a label on it if you don't want to. You're gonna growl while biting me? Why? Okay, Bones. If Skarn consents. Of all the nicknames she... Okay, it reads out the emotes. I wonder if there's a way to make it not read emotes. Because it always doesn't make sense. You still have to ask Bones' permission, Dennis, just like Scar does. Alright, have fun being growly with each other. Of all the nicknames she'd received, she liked that one the best. Even better was the way it made the folk shiver when they said it, as though it was some kind of curse, though at the moment Vahan and Aurelian were less afraid and more visibly shocked. Yep, that's right, I'm an immortal. At the moment I'm on your side, so long as Arlo's with us. Luck is too. You really couldn't have asked for a better team than this, Prince Vahan. So I ask you, honestly, has that answer made a difference? Are you going to stop questioning me at every turn now that you know who I am? Vahan snorted, eyeing her wearily. No, probably not. Exactly. Aurelian cocked his head as though considering Nausicaa anew. I'd always believed Furies were a myth. And I'm sorry, but ugly as well. The statement rankled her. Ugly, yes, of course, that's how immortals had seen her. But rather than snap at him, she beamed. Ha, you think I'm pretty. I think you're not unattractive. There's a difference. Oh wow, easy on the love confessions, Aurelian. I'm flattered, really, but I'm afraid as I'm lesbian, you're not exactly my type. Yo, Nausicaa is a lesbian. Did I say that before? I don't remember it, but it's been a while. What is that? Oh, they're just speed line emotes, okay. Oh, I'm afraid as I'm gay, you're really not mine either. Aurelian's gay. There is, that's why I love it. There's so much representation. Good, so now that that's settled, maybe we can move on and save stupid questions about people's pasts for later. Lesbians, Pokemon Go, gender fluid, you know, all the things.
If mom bites me, do I get a virus?
No. My virus only affects humans, and Dennis is not human, as you can tell. Humanoid. Cat boys are still human. Human enough. You're half human. Yeah, imagine being human. Couldn't be me. Yes, Mew. I only asked them in the first place because in order for us to work as a team, Vahan replied a touch hotly, it's important that we're all at least reading from the same book, if not the same page. Preferably the same page, yeah. Imagine being rusty parts in one place? What does that mean? My parts aren't rusty. Are you calling me old? That's rude. Wow, that was really profound, truly inspired. It's almost like you spent your entire life operating under the belief that you're entitled to get anything you want simply because you want it, your Sid Fey Highness. Test what out? What are you testing? What? I don't know what y'all are talking about. Guys. Oh, that's rich coming from you. Strutting around with your inflated ego, doing whatever you like because the world is dispensable and the only interests Nausicaa Kraken serves are her own. Guys, probably shut up now. I don't have an entire court and a personal bodyguard to wipe my ass for me, so yeah, I am going to serve my own. Guys, Arlo hissed, leaping up from the sofa and grabbing both Vahan and Nausicaa by the arm. Shut up. Aurelian hears something. Oh, okay. You have fun with that then. See how clean Bones is. Glowering at Nausicaa, Vahan shook himself free of Arlo's hold and moved off to where his friend had wandered from the couch during their argument. You okay? Arlo asked. Transferring a much softer look to Arlo, she nodded. In her current mood, Nausicaa knew her admittedly frightening features had to be standing out sharper than they usually did. When anger and bitterness swelled too close to the surface, her carefully woven beauty had a tendency to turn skeletal. How close to expiration was the mask behind which Nausicaa hid her darker, festering emotions? What would happen when it would no longer contain them? It scared her to think she could break even further than her current shattered state, to entertain the possibility about something worse lurked behind it, waiting to consume whatever had been left after her fall. Arlo, though, the way she stared up at Nausicaa, Arlo didn't seem afraid at all of whatever monstrosity she saw. Stupid girl. Why had no one taught her to keep away from deadly things? What's going on? Nausicaa asked to break the tension and lead her thoughts to safer ground. Arlo merely shook her head and pointed to the open doorway. Aurelian and Vahan stood in a motionless huddle off to the side, peering out into the hall and listening intently. Extracting herself from Arlo and throwing her candy aside, Nausicaa moved to join the Fae by the door. Vahan shifted to make room for her, admitting her close, however stiffly. A moment trickled into a minute, which trickled into 2. Nausicaa saw nothing. Well, Arlo whispered. There, Vahan breathed after a long moment. A small gesture of his hand pointed to something in the distance, and Nausicaa craned to peer around him. I forgot how I pronounce this. A covum? Finally, a bit of action. Guess all the banging around attracted some attention after all. You're welcome. Shall we follow it and see where it's heading? Aurelian asked after his jibe. As fun as it was to flex her fighting prowess with the dead-eyed creatures they'd fought outside, Nausicaa hoped there was something more than cutting down kava in store for them tonight. This thing walking around, it had to have come from somewhere. Chances were it had somewhere to go as well. Following it was their best option. She nodded. Arlo, looking several shades paler than usual, nodded her agreement too. Quieter than they'd managed all evening, the 4 trickled out of the break room and back into the hall, creeping after the covum as close to the creature as they dared, and as far back from it as they could keep while holding it still in their sights. Ow, I just bit my tongue. Okay, Mew, come kiss it better. Yeah, I'm fine. I just slightly bit my tongue. It wasn't that bad. Soup? Why do I need soup? They were probably being watched on cameras. Occasionally, Nausicaa spared a glance for the ceiling, and the corners where those sorts of things were kept. There was nothing there, but that didn't necessarily mean they weren't being watched. For all that this facility gave off the appearance of human command, there was magic working behind its scenes. She could feel it. If they really were dealing with someone using the space for alchemic experimentation, there were dozens of ways that someone could be tracking their progress without human technology. Bones, you are such a good submissive pet. Nothing she could do about that at the moment. On they crept after this grotesque guide. There were several moments when Nausicaa had to wonder whether the covum was deaf or simply leading them to some undisclosed place. A trap, perhaps, expecting them to follow. Personally, she hoped it was the latter. Bones, did you forget Mew was here? I mean, it is Christmas, Mew. Let Bones be unwholesome for today since it's Christmas. Yeah, what's Skarn gonna do? I just read that. They rounded another bend, sneaking out into a hallway they'd visited already. Nausicaa recognized it by the fact that it led nowhere, a dead end, boasting nothing but supply closets. The creature hobbled on. It made its way to the end of the hall and the wall that closed it off, and she was now firmly convinced their end goal was a trap. Whatever that was supposed to be, they wouldn't find out until it was sprung. Most likely, something might try to rush them from behind. This must have occurred to the prince as well, because he dropped back even further in line to take up the rear, much to Aurelian's apparent dissatisfaction. Skarn, you don't know how to kiss someone? He glared at the prince, but there was no time to debate the matter. Having taken command of their progress, Nausicaa lifted a hand in the air and curled it into a fist, bringing the group to a halt. The creature had stopped as well. It stood now, staring fixedly at the white concrete wall, as though whatever had wound it into action had finally run its course. "This is really starting to freak me out," Arlo whispered, latching onto the back of Nausicaa's tank top. The hall they'd left behind was quiet. By the confused shake of Aurelian's head, even he could detect nothing closing in on their ranks. Oh, you don't know how to make Bones wholesome. Maybe we should just ask it what it's doing, Nausicaa whispered back. "Oh yeah, great idea. Hello there, how are you? I know your friends just tried to kill us, but would you mind terribly explaining what—" "Sure, that'll work," Nausicaa agreed, bulldozing over Arlo's sarcasm with perfect sincerity. In a louder voice, she said to the creature, "Hello there, how are you? I know—" Her words were cut short, but not by Arlo's frantic tugging, or the hiss from Aurelian, or the reach-around swat from Vahan. "Thank you, Mew." Where was I? The creature didn't seem to hear them at all, or if it did, continued to ignore them. Instead, it watched as something in the wall gave two soft chirps, and a small light tucked up against the ceiling flicked to green glowing life. The wall opened up like a yawning mouth, parting horizontally at the middle and retracting into the ceiling and floor. Bright fluorescent lighting spilled from the growing gap. Said Nausicaa. She abandoned all pretense of whispering, and when the creature continued to pay them no notice, she took a step away from the wall. Well, shit. Arlo had followed, still clutching the back of her tank top, careful to keep close as she peered along with Nausicaa into the sudden, fully powered extension of the hallway. The column didn't go far. A few feet of tile paved the way to the unmistakable gleam of an elevator door. The creature hobbled toward it and turned to face them as soon as it reached the far end of the hall. Anticipating some attack, Nausicaa threw out an arm to usher Arlo behind her. Vahan and Aurelian rushed forward now too, the prince attempting to draw on the current thrumming through the facility and flick a beam of light off the palm of his hand. Once again, his efforts to arm himself were thwarted, a tiny small fraction concerning, in Nausicaa's opinion. Damn, he swore, gritting his teeth. The creature made no move for them, though. It stood by the door of the elevator like it was standing at attention, eyes trained sightlessly forward, waiting for them to approach so it could admit them through to the next part of this apparent tour. At last, Nausicaa drawled. This little display wouldn't unnerve her. If that was the intention here, she cocked her head to slant her skeptic shade down the hall. The quality service I paid for. Apologies, said a man's voice from all around them. Smooth and light in pitch. The voice was weirdly familiar to Nausicaa, and it rang more than a little smug. After all that violence outside, it was hard to find a willing replacement to play your guide. Nausicaa snorted. Kava didn't have the will to volunteer for much of anything. Sliding her gaze away from the creature, she frowned up at the ceiling. God? Not quite, the mysterious voice chuckled. Though I have to say, I'm on my way to becoming something better. The sad thing is, I bet you believe that too. And so will you by the end of tonight. But come. The elevator at the end of the hall slid open with a soft whir. I expect you to have some questions to come all the way out here. I'd be happy to give you their answers. Nausicaa dropped her gaze back to the group. So this is ominous. Probably dangerous. Definitely inadvisable for 3 teenage fae. I'm down, but I'm immortal. It would take more than what this realm could collectively throw to kill me. Again, you guys don't have to come along. You have enough evidence as is. Ooh. Quack. Who dropped her gaze? Oh, did I say that? Oh, yeah. Nausicaa dropped her gaze. Okay. Yeah, I saw. I just immediately forgot what I read. I said quack already. I'd prefer the female gaze, thank you. But not my answers, Vahan reminded her grimly. I say we do it. Everyone turned to Aurelian. He had out his phone, snapping a picture of the scene before them, but paused when he realized the intensity of the attention on him. We've come this far. If you can teleport us out whenever we choose, Nausicaa, the personal risk in undertaking this tour is still rather low, he explained with a twitch of a shrug. I say we do it. Yes, Sky. No, Mew. You do not have to be female. I will still love you no matter what your gender is. Exactly. I want you to be you. Nausicaa looked to Arlo. You are! You're already wanted. Of everyone present, she was the most vulnerable and the only one Nausicaa actually cared about coming to harm. But Arlo shook her head and in a move of surprising boldness threaded her arm through Nausicaa's. With soft but genuine conviction, she said, like Vahan said, right? We've come this far. I'm not letting you leave me behind now. Swallowing down a swell of fierce emotion, Nausicaa tugged her even closer to her side. Weird, she whispered, harking back again to their alleyway conversation. Arlo laughed gently. Yeah, but so are you, she whispered back. With her head turned to keep this bit of play between them, it was a little impossible for Nausicaa to stare at anything but the smile tugging at the bow of Arlo's mouth. Yeah, she swallowed, definitely, clearing her throat. Nausicaa gave herself a little shake. In a much louder voice and to the group as a whole, she said, All right, well, our disembodied host seems to have been expecting us anyhow. Might as well play along while things are still interesting. How, though? Were we expected? Vahan wondered, watching Aurelian lower his phone. We were careful to keep this quiet. Besides the two of you, only my mother and the High King were told we had suspicions about this place. Questions to ask along the way, I guess.
Says spray bones with the spray bottle, and we give him cuddles.
Okay, Skarn. Why don't you spray Bones with the spray bottle? I don't have a way to cuddle you. I don't have a cuddle command. Mew, write that down. We need a cuddle command. Or, you know, type it. Whatever. That's a good point, Skarn. The water's just gonna fall on you, Mew, if you duck. Questions to ask along the way, I guess. Nausicaa placated? Beginning forward with Arlo fast on her arm. They boarded the elevator. We better at least get a portal gun out of this, Nausicaa groused. When Vahan and Aurelian joined them and the door snapped, closed in their faces. Without even a stir for warning, they plummeted. It's water, Bones. You've never been sprayed with water? You think water is delicious? Thank you, Mew. Water is not tasty. It is gross. Okay, we're on chapter 31 and there are 36 chapters. There's 5 more chapters. How long is this one? Oh, this is a long one. We will finish it. Eventually. I'm just slow. Okay. I'm actually going to end this stream early so I can take a little bit of a longer break. Because my mouth is dry, my jaw hurts from singing and talking constantly, and I'm eepy. I might take a little nappy nap. Yeah, I'm gonna end it here. And then we're still gonna play games at 9 with Mar. Got distracted by Twitter. Now to find somebody to raid. Yeah, I'm not going to bed. How do I pull this out so I can actually see it? Why is it still streaming? Should we raid Weiss again? We didn't finish the book, Pyro. I still have 5 more chapters. I mean, no one else is on. So we're just gonna raid Weiss again. And Mar's still over there as well, so. Oh, thank you, Mew. You're such a good boy. Yeah, double raid. Kind of. Raiding the same person twice in one day. Yeah, double raid. Oh no. Kind of. Raiding the same person twice. No, stop. Yeah, Twitch is being very slow and it made my stream start playing with sound before it loaded. It's supposed to be automatically muted. Oh wait, is Mar not there anymore? It looks like Mar's not there anymore. We're still gonna raid Weiss though, because I have no one else to raid. Oh, cause my bookmark for Twitch goes straight to my channel. So I had to open Twitch. Okay, I need to copy the raid message. Yeah, gay to my channel. Oh, the raid's going by.